Hi everyone, welcome back to our second session. And for our second session, everyone, we are going to study Blueprint 2, Unit 5, A New Place to page 37. So everyone, please take out your Blueprint workbook and let's start. For this lesson, everyone, before we proceed to our workbook, before answering that, let's have a review from our previous lesson. Last time we talked about grammar and review of ing forms and introduction to ing adjectives. So as you remember, everyone, I have given you the meaning of the gerund, verb, and adjectives, right? So let's recall this one more time. Gerund is the ing form of a verb that functions the same as a noun. It acts like a noun. You can only use a gerund after the verb suggest. So that's our grammar ing form. So don't forget to remember our previous lesson, how to use ing form into a sentence with adjective. So everyone, take out your workbook, Blueprint 2, and turn your book to page 37. So this textbook has 4 parts. We have part 1, listen to the conversation and circle the correct answers with track 22. Part 2, listen again, track 22. Part 3, put the words in order to make sentence. So this one is crumbled word. You have to write into the correct sentence. And the last part, part 4, put check mark next to yes or no if the bold words are adjectives. So I am going to show you one by one our exercise for today. So everyone, please prepare your notebook or workbook. So make sure you have your copy for this lesson. Okay, let's start. Part 1, listen to the conversation and circle the correct answer. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to play an audio track listening, track 22. So everyone listen carefully and answer part 1. Let's start.
Track 22. How do you want to travel to Las Vegas?
Taking an airplane is faster than driving, and it's definitely not as tiring either.
True, but driving is much less expensive, and it could be interesting to take a road trip and see the beautiful scenery.
No way. I think driving for so many hours is really boring.
Hey, we should check to see if there's a bus to Las Vegas. It's less expensive than flying and less confusing and tiring than going by car.
Maybe. But don't forget that restrooms on buses are so annoying.
Alright everyone, so that is our listening track 22 for part 1. If you listen carefully to our audio track, you will know your answer, okay? So let's answer this one by one. Number 1, for part 1, everyone take out your textbook or workbook or even your notebook if you don't have. So let's start answering this one or checking your answer. Number 1, these people are A, planning a trip to Las Vegas, or B, moving away from Las Vegas. So the correct answer is letter A. They're planning a trip for or to Las Vegas. Next, number 2, they don't agree on A, what to bring, or B, how to get there. So the correct answer is letter B, how to get there. Next, number 3, they are comparing A, flying and driving, or B, trains and buses. The correct answer is letter A, flying and driving. And number 4, Charmaine, try the bus. Charmaine wants to or doesn't want to? So the correct answer is Charmaine wants to try the bus. So the correct answer is letter A for number 4. So that is our answers for part 1. Now for part 2, everyone, you are going to listen again and fill in the blank. So listen one more time, everyone, and try to fill in the missing word for this conversation. So listen one more time.
Track 22. How do you want to travel to Las Vegas?
Taking an airplane is faster than driving, and it's definitely not as tiring either.
True, but driving is much less expensive, and it could be interesting to take a road trip and see the beautiful scenery.
No way. I think driving for so many hours is really boring.
Hey, we should check to see if there's a bus to Las Vegas. It's less expensive than flying, and less confusing and tiring than going by car.
Maybe. But don't forget that restrooms on buses are so annoying.
Now for part 2, listen carefully, everyone, because I'm giving you the correct answers. So check your notes, everyone, or your workbook and correct it by yourself. So part 2, everyone. Charmaine, how do you want to travel to Las Vegas? Lenka, taking an airplane is faster than driving, and it's definitely not as tiring either. Charmaine, true, but driving is much less expensive, and it could be interesting to take a road trip and see the beautiful scenery. Lenka, no way. I think driving for so many hours is really boring. Charmaine, hey, we should check to see if there's a bus to Las Vegas. It's less expensive than flying and less confusing and tiring than by car. Lenka, maybe, but don't forget that restrooms on buses are so annoying. So that's our answers for part 2. So I hope that you get your answers corrected or correctly, and we will continue our part 3. So for part 3, put the words in order to make sentence. So I'm giving you a time to finish this part 3, and after this we will answer all together. Alright, everyone, so I hope you have enough time to finish the part 3. So let's answer all together. Number 1, riding my bike is really relaxing. Number 2, is driving more boring than taking the subway? Or is taking the subway more boring than driving? That's number 2. Number 3, Annabelle thinks this movie is amazing. Next, number 4. The weather today is quite surprising. Number 5. Why do you think this book is so interesting? So everyone, I hope that you listen to teacher because I have given already the answers. So let's move on to our part 4 and final exercise for this workbook. Part 4 are the bold words, adjective. Put a check mark next to yes or no. So number 1, Marco loves swimming. So the bold word in here is swimming. Is it adjective, everyone? So you have to put check mark inside the box. Next, number 2, I'm talking to Jan on phone. So talking is the bold word. So which one is this? Is this an adjective word? Next, number 3. This film is so interesting. So interesting is the bold word in here. Next, number 4. Traveling to France is my dream. So what do you think is the correct one? Is it yes or no? And number 5, this boring lecture was so bad. So which one is the correct answer? Yes or no? So I'm giving you time again to review your answer and then we will correct all together. Alright everyone, so are you ready to know the correct answers? Okay, so listen carefully. Number 1, Marshall, I'm sorry for a while ago. Marshall loves swimming. So this one is not an adjective word. So no. Next, number 2, I'm talking to Jen on the phone. This one is no also. Number 3, this film is so interesting. Interesting is an adjective. So this one is yes. Next, number 4. Traveling to France is my dream. Traveling is no. Correct. And number 5. This boring lecture was so bad. Boring is an adjective. So this one is yes. So that's it everyone. This is the end of our workbook practice answering workbook. And this is the end of our lesson. Lesson 2. It's tiring. From our blueprint 2. So everyone, don't forget to finish all your classwork, exercise, and also your homework for today's lesson. I'll see you again next time everyone. Goodbye.